Trisha and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be trying some food preparation. I have done it before and I did this for my parents where I make them 5 meals for the week, so I just doubled it for 2 of them. And this time I am going to be making, I think, 4. I have an idea to do 5 of them, but definitely 4. Usually because Fridays and Saturdays we get something to eat outside the house, and Sundays it's usually a salad or a sandwich or something easy. So I'm hoping that at least 4 meals. One of them is a hot dog meal, so that's kind of the sandwich idea. So that's why I'm thinking that I am going to prepare something for the hot dogs. Okay, so I have 5 recipes that I've put aside and I've gotten all the ingredients for, including some chili meat for the hot dogs. So I'm going to try doing all of that. I want to start by cooking all of my meats first, and my meats are going to be chicken and beef. I have chicken thigh, chicken breast, ground beef, and ground fajitas. And I'll tell you what those, at least 4 of those meals are going to be. And they're all going to be kind of a Tex-Mex. They're not going to be anything specific that, you know, traditional. So just bear with me. This is going to be super easy, at least I hope, for you watching, and I'm going to keep it simple by keeping a lot of the seasonings similar. That's why I'm saying it's a Tex-Mex. I'm just going to be changing a little bit, you know, a little bit of what vegetables I'm going to be putting, or the seasonings. I'm going to add some other seasonings into some of them that I won't for others. Now, all of these that I'm going to do are going to be like a casserole type meal. So I want to prepare these in little small little casseroles because it's just my husband and myself and my mom. It's just 3 of us. My mom eats very little. She eats very small meals during the day. So I don't want to prepare something too much. I don't want to have leftovers. I don't like eating leftovers. And so I don't want to have any of them. So they're going to be very small meals. It's not going to be in detail because otherwise this might be a 4-hour video and I want to keep it to less than an hour at least. Okay? So with that being said, let's get to cooking. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the beef fajitas, and let me tell you what I'm going to be doing with this. I'm going to be doing beef fajita tacos. I am going to be making a chicken poblano casserole. I'm going to be making enchiladas verdes, with chicken enchiladas verdes, and then a spaghetti con carne, which is spaghetti with some meat, with the ground beef. And then I want to prepare a chili meat for some chili cheese hot dogs. Okay, so I don't need, this is a big package of fajitas that I bought. I don't need all of this. I'm just going to do like half of one of these, maybe a pound of it. And I'm going to cut it into, these I'm actually going to bag them. I'm going to put them in the pressure cooker bags, or what do you call them? Not pressure cooker bags. I am going to put them in some vacuum sealed bags. Okay, sorry, I can't concentrate. I'm just going to cut off a little bit of this membrane, and I'm not going to cut these up yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the Instapot, or the Instant Pot. I like to just call it Instapot because, you know, it's just a shorter version of the name and it's quicker to say. So I'm just going to cut them into these smaller pieces. This is going to cook less than an hour. I'm going to put them in the Instapot so I don't have to worry about them, so that I can go ahead and get the chicken and the ground beef cooking. Alright, so all of this will go in here. I'm going to add a little bit of water, and then, and actually these beef fajitas in the package that I purchased, they're already seasoned, so I don't have to add anything. They smell delicious. Okay, but I am going to add some water in here, and of course when I cut them up, if I feel like I need a little more seasoning, I will add that. It's going to have some other stuff in it, and I'm going to add some little vegetables, so that'll get seasoned as well. I'm going to wash my hand, going to get this started and go on to the next meat. Alright, so I have my fajitas at 50 minutes on high on my Instant Pot, and the reason that I have it for 50 minutes is because I want them to be super tender. I put them on there for 30 minutes before and they're okay, but then I end up putting it for another 20 to 30 minutes. So I've decided that almost an hour is good enough, and I want them to be super tender so I can chop them up nice and fine, so they'll go well in some corn tortillas, and they'll make some nice little tacos for us. Alright, so now it's chicken, and I am starting with my thighs because the thighs take a little longer to cook than chicken breast, and I do have some ground beef, but ground beef cooks up really quickly. And what I want to do with this, oops, sorry about that noise. What I want to do with this is I'm just going to take 3 of the thighs. I also bought big packages. I bought a big package of thighs, so I had 6 of them in there. They're skinless, boneless. All I'm doing is just removing a little bit of the fat. And then I've got here some thin sliced chicken breast, and all I gotta do is just cut them into little strips, remove any fat. Again, I'm only gonna use a little bit of that. I'm gonna be using the chicken breast, I think, for the for the enchiladas verdes, and I'm gonna be using the thigh meat for the poblano casserole. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut this up. Oops, sorry, my goodness, that noise. Because this is gonna be a casserole, I do want the chicken cubed, but I might end up cubing it after. I know what I need to put on here. I'm cutting it on this marble slab. I'm supposed to be cutting on a plastic or wood. So I'm gonna grab that to put underneath before I start cutting. Well, I've already started cutting, but so I can continue cutting. I'm gonna cook these, try to cook them, and then I'll cut them up once they're done cooked. All right, so I've got my little plastic. Oh, and then I vacuum sealed the 2 fajitas that I had left over. So I'm gonna do the same thing with these 3 thighs, because this will make another meal some next week or sometime in the future. The only thing that I did learn, these fajitas have a lot of, liquid, the blood that was in the packaging of the meat. So I had to kind of like pat it down a little bit. So I'm sure some of the seasoning came off. And that's only because when I was vacuum sealing it, some of the juices were getting sucked out of the bag. So you want to make sure, like, if you're going to be doing that, to not have like anything that's like liquidy in there, because it's going to get sucked up and it might mess up your little vacuum sealer. I noticed it, so I was able to stop the process and dry up. But I mean, some of that still got pulled through. Anyway, I'm going to continue just cutting these in like big pieces, and I'm going to get these cooking. And all of my seasonings are going to be pretty similar until I get to making them a little more special. To make them, a little different from each other. So I'm going to start with salt, pepper, and garlic powder, pretty much on everything. And I think I'm going to add cumin just to some things. I think that the only thing that's not going to have cumin is comino. Is going to be the chili meat, or maybe I'll put some in there too. Why not? Okay, I'll continue cutting this up, and then I'm going to use half of these chicken breasts, and then the other half I'm going to vacuum seal, put that away. And once I've got those all put away, I will be back. So these go in the pans where I'm going to cook them. I'm going to cook everything all basically the same. It's all chicken, but I'm going to start the thighs first. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I could just mix them up and use a little bit on both of the 2 chicken meals that I'm going to make, right? I can do that. I feel like this is a lot. I think I'm going to stop with just 2 of them. Yeah, it seems like a lot of meat. So what I'm going to do when I vacuum seal these, I'm going to do 2 and 2, because it's a lot of meat. Look at all that meat. That's a lot. Even for the poblano casserole. Let me think about it. I'll go ahead and do 3. Make them real nice and meaty. Extra chicken, if I don't use it, I can just put it in another little vacuum sealed bag, and I can freeze cooked chicken. Alright, so I'll be back once these are getting ready to cook. The ground beef is already ground, so I don't have to do anything to that. Just put it in a pan. Alright, so my chicken is cut up and it's ready to get seasoned. I'm going to add salt. And please, I'm going to go ahead and put the recipes, if you want to follow them, in the description box below. So I'm going to do 4 or 5 of these items. So I'll put the recipes to everything that I did in their complete form, because obviously the some of the items, I'm not going to be serving them, so you're going to see how they get served. But I'll put little notes on, how you can serve them, what you can put on the side, if you'd like to know that. But if you don't see it in the description box, please leave some comments saying, hey, you didn't put the recipes down at the bottom in the box. That way I can go ahead and do that. Okay, garlic powder. I've done salt and pepper. And of course, I'll season these a little bit more if I feel, give it a little taste. And if I feel like they need a little bit more, I'm just seasoning to taste. So do so, You know what, cumin is harder to spread out. It kind of clumps up. So I'm just gonna use my fingers here to sprinkle it on. There we go. And I've got a pan ready. Oh, by the way, if you want to know, I vacuum seal my thighs and my chicken breast. Now, the vacuum sealer that I got is just a little one like this. I did get a bag sealer some time ago. These are from QVC. The other one that I also ordered it from QVC. This one was on clearance. I think I paid like $20-some, $23 or something like that. Like I said, it was on clearance, so I don't know if they'll still have any. This is Denny, D-E-N-I, and it was pretty, like all the whites were gone, all the gray was gone, and because I wanted the white first, and as I want the gray, those are sold out. So I had a choice of blue or red, and I think it was a green, I'm not sure. They might be all gone, but you can try. I don't remember the product number or anything like that. But also on Amazon, you can find lots of vacuum sealers, and they come with some of them come with their little bags. Now, I had bought a vacuum seal. I had bought a bag sealer, and that works great. It looks like a straightener. You know, you just push it down on the ends of any bag, really, and then click it, locked, start it. It takes like 3 seconds, seals it perfect. You can use like, bags of chips, the inside in the box of the cereal, the bag that's in there, you can seal that, just keep trimming it and then until you're down to a really low amount. So you don't really have to get extra bags, but these bags, you can also order them individually. You can also get them from Amazon. So just in case you were curious what I was using, let me lock this up. I'm gonna put this away. Okay, I'm starting up my pan. I've got a pan here to start up on high. I'm gonna move this out of the way. So I got a little apron I got myself at Walmart. I think it's really cute. I think it was from, what is her name? Pioneer Woman. I'm not really sure. I think it was from her collection. I already threw the bag away. I threw some meat stuff in there, put in the trash. I can't pull out the little tag. But I also had some cute little Easter, this one I got at Hobby Lobby, little Easter kitchen towels, and I had them hanging here on my stove, and then I realized, wait a minute, I don't want to get all dirty and nasty, so or get them all dirty and nasty. I don't want to get myself, my t-shirt, so that's why I'm wearing an apron now, and since I'm going to be here, doing this all day, I don't want to get my little towels dirty, so I said, let me remove them, but I wanted to show them to you. And this is a little set, and I think I may have gotten this either whether it was Ross, Marshalls, or TJ Maxx, maybe Burlington. There's a cute little set. I love this one. It's got like a little bunny pom-pom there for the tail. And I've got this cute bunny that I got at Hobby Lobby this morning. So I want to decorate Sunday for Sunday's Easter meal. And then I got these two cute little bunsies. And then I've got my tier tray here. I usually have these little lemons, but on the bottom I put these little Easter eggs. I bought a bag there from Hobby Lobby and a little sign that says Happy Easter. So that's all in there. So I thought I'd decorate. How does that look for now? Looks cute, right? So let me put them so you can see them like that. Okay, I'm gonna keep these seasonings here because I'm gonna be using them over and over again. Okay, so I can hear my pan sizzling, so it's hot. And I've got a little bit of olive oil, just enough for now. I got another bottle that I just got yesterday. But I had to go back again today to get a few more items that I didn't have on my list for these recipes. And then I went to Hobby Lobby first, real quick. I had to go to the doctor real quick this morning, so I got a lot of things done. All right, so got that ready. Move that oil around. I'm gonna start putting the thighs in there. And I want to remember to put the season side down so then I can season the other side. And it's not really all that important, but I want things to be well seasoned. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, I'll be back. All right, I'm going to go ahead and cook those chicken thighs. Maybe a couple of minutes, 3 minutes or so before I add the chicken breast in there. So let me go ahead and season the other side. gonna take it easy on the cumin because cumin is a strong seasoning. You guys, I did buy a microphone to clip on myself, but I haven't tried it. I just got it in the mail from Amazon, so I haven't tried it. I didn't have time to mess with it this morning before I started doing my video, but I intend on seeing if that's gonna work. So I'm gonna test it out soon, and hopefully I can be here and maybe sound surrounding me won't affect too much. Okay, so I'm just slathering around these pieces of chicken breast to pick up any seasoning that are still on the board. You know, those that didn't land on any meat. And then I'm going to go ahead and throw them in the pan with the thighs so I can cook them all together. And that should be done in about 7 minutes or so. But I'm also going to go ahead and unpack my ground beef. I got 2 packs. I actually bought a 3-pack from Sam's. So I cut them up and then I put them in the freezer. I took 2 out. I got 2 pounds of ground beef. I'm not going to use a whole pound for my chili cheese sauce, but actually I want to have some meat already cooked, and I'm pretty sure I might not use it all for the spaghetti as well. So whatever meat I have left over, I'm actually going to do a meat stuffed chicken for Easter, so I'm going to need some ground beef. That's a whole other recipe. If you'd like to see how I make that, I'll be more than happy to do a separate video on just that sometime in the future. Because, you know, it's something that I make, that I learned from my mom, and we do this for like special occasions. Okay, so I'll be back with the next step, but I'm going to cook the chicken. Alright, so I took the chicken out. It was fully cooked, and I gave it a little taste, and I don't need to add any seasonings at all to it. It's delicious as it is. My fajitas still have 27 minutes, plus the time that it takes to depressurize. So I think we're doing pretty good here. We're getting close to 3 o'clock in the afternoon though. So I'm trying to get one of these prepared sooner than the others because that's what I want my dinner to be. And I want it to be that chicken poblano casserole. And what I've got here are these poblano peppers. And you can see that I'm burning the outside, the skin. You want to char that. And then we're going to put them in a plastic bag and let them sweat in the bag so that then all that skin will be easy to just to kind of scrape off. We'll take off the stem and the seeds completely off of that, and then we can slice it into little, you know, julienne slices or diced, however you want to do it. If you feel like, no, I don't want to have poblano peppers, I don't like them, you can do bell peppers instead, but saute them. You can cut them up however you want, saute them, make them soft. I'm going to saute some onions, so you can saute them with your onions and then have that ready to add in there. Instead of having a poblano chicken casserole, you can have a bell pepper chicken casserole or a pepper casserole, whatever you want to call it. Okay, I think these are good. I've already turned off the heat on that. They were just toasting on whatever residual heat was on my cast iron pan here, and the skillet here, because it gets really hot. That one, the stem is kind of broken, so I can't grab it. So I'm just going to put it in the plastic bag, seal that, and 15 minutes, put that aside, and then we'll worry about them. Okay, so I turned that off, and the same pan that I had the chicken in, I'm going to go ahead and cook the ground beef in there because, you know, it's already hot, ready to go. I don't mind sharing some of the flavors from my chicken and my ground beef. So before I continue chopping this up, I'm going to throw that in there. Like I said, season it, salt, pepper, garlic powder, and a cumin. And season it however you like, but that's how I'm going to season mine. And I'm going to make 2 pounds, and we're going to get that cooking. So I should be back pretty much when that's cooked, the chicken's chopped. I'm going to put it in a pan. Everything's going to get set aside, cool off, because we don't want anything hot. We're going to need it to cool off completely so that I can put them together and put them in the freezer. So I don't want to put anything hot in the freezer. The only thing that will get hot will be because the chicken poblano, but that's going to go in the oven. It's going to be ready for tonight. All right, so I'll be back with all this cooked ground beef, just like any other ground beef that you would cook. Okay, so my ground beef is cooked. I did add minced garlic. Now, originally I said garlic powder, but you can use garlic powder or chop or mince your own garlic fresh, or get some that's already, you know, minced. So I decided to add some of that into my ground beef. I also added some paprika, and I added about a teaspoon or so. It just depends on how much you want to add. So now I'm going to divide it, and then I'm going to be using some chili powder. But first I want to get all of my ground beef in here. I do want to drain because it did have a little bit of the olive oil from the chicken still in there, and then the ground beef itself, I bought a lean, which is an 80-20, so it's a 20% fat. So there is some extra fat in there, and I want to go ahead and drain it. So let me go ahead, and I don't want to get it on the plastic here. Okay, so I'm just going to use a spoon. You know what, I have one that has little slots. I'll use that. That way it don't go through the little holes. Now make sure that it's really drained. And then of course I'll get rid of this fat, and of course I'm not going to get rid of it down my sink. I'm going to put it in a little baggie or something once it cools off. Get rid of it in the trash. And out it goes. And there's quite a bit of fat, so I want to make sure I get that out of the pan because I'm going to be leaving some of this ground beef. Now remember, I made 2 pounds, and I don't need that much for the chili dog. So I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and just kind of more or less measure. I need, let me drain it first, and then I'll do that measuring. And that way I have my clean pan with no oil in it. So I can make that chili meat, and it's super simple, you guys. It's not anything that you need to cook for hours. It's just a, your own prepared quick chili meat that you can make when you want to. Yeah, you could use it as an actual chili. Add some beef broth to it, to make it a little liquidy if you want to do that. Top it with cheddar cheese, eat it with some saltines or some cornbread, or if you want to use it in a hot dog, right? Then I don't need to add any liquid to it because I don't want it to be drippy and soupy. Okay, so I've got pretty much most of the meat, but I've got quite a bit. I've got like maybe 2 tablespoons of fat almost there. You know what, let me pour it into, this is a 1/4 cup here. I think that's enough. Wow, you guys, it's almost a 1/4 cup here. So yeah, there we go. I'm using a lot of napkins because I went and got another roll. Okay, so now I'm going to clean. There's some meat in there. I'll leave that in there, but I'm just going to tap the rest of it. So now it's a clean pan. Well, it's a little bit of meat in there. Little speckles ain't gonna hurt anyone. I'm gonna put this aside so it can cool off in here. If that was bacon, I'd definitely be saving it because I love bacon fat. The flavor of bacon. I'm gonna pop open this tomato paste. I won't be using it all, so I'm just gonna set aside what I don't use, and then later I can put it in a little baggie and put it away in the fridge. Okay, I'm only going to use about maybe a tablespoon, considering that I'm not going to use that much meat. So I'm going to consider what I would put. I need to wipe this down. That's what I'm doing lately, is I'm just wiping anything with any grease or anything before I hand wash everything. So even if it was going into a dishwasher, I wouldn't want oil going in the drain. Okay, so I'm going to say, okay, this is how much I want to put in each hot dog. So I'm going to make 5 hot dogs. I want to have enough for 5, maybe 6. So I'll just measure 6 of these little spoons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's nice, and I've got a nice amount here. I won't need all of this for my spaghetti con carne, so I have a little bit left over, I think. All right, so a tablespoon of this. Do I need a tablespoon? Because it's really not that much. You know what? I'm going to do half a tablespoon of tomato paste. So So depending on how much you make, you add the amount you feel. If you don't want to use tomato paste, or you just feel like, oh my god, that's another thing I have to, another ingredient that I don't really use, but if you use ketchup, put some ketchup in there. Okay, again, we're gonna set this aside. Okay, so mix it in there. Oops, I turned it off, gotta turn it back on a low to medium. And mix it around. Get that tomato paste in there. Okay, so now I want to add some chili powder. Yes, I wasn't sure if I had already used this or not, if it was going to be open. And I'm going to use a teaspoon. My honey. Okay, a teaspoon of this. It's not quite like a completely full teaspoon. Then again, it's not a lot of meat. So we'll put that in there. And then I'm going to add some tomato sauce. And I think I'm only going to add maybe half of this. Hurry up here because I can hear it sizzling on the stove. I usually like to have everything already open and prepared, but doing this video is throwing me off a little bit, you guys. I had an idea of how the things were going to go, but because I realized I didn't have certain ingredients, I had to stop at the store, and then of course I had to take myself over to Hobby Lobby. So. Okay, so half of that. I almost poured the whole thing. Let me turn that off. That's what it's looking like. So we just want to cook it because we don't really want that tomatoey flavor. Now, I felt something fly off of here and went on my apron, and that's okay. That's why I'm wearing the apron. Okay, so what was I saying? Oh, you could use ketchup, I said. Oh, you could also add a dash of brown sugar in here. If it's too, oh my gosh. I surprised myself. If you feel like maybe you add a little bit too much, whether you use ketchup will have sugar in it already. But if you put too much tomato paste in there, it's a little too tangy. It's got the little tarty kind of flavor. You can add a little brown sugar, a dash of mustard if you want even, to give it a totally different flavor. And if it's going to go in a chili dog, mustard is awesome with a hot dog. So, I mean, I was going to say in a hot dog, mustard is great on a hot dog. So why not in the chili? And I am using all beef hot dogs because my husband won't eat pork. Can I get those Nathan's all beef hot dogs? Mainly because my youngest one's name is Nathan. But anyway, I love those, the beef ones. They have those hot dogs at Sam's, and those are pretty tasty. Let's find out what the honey wants. Okay guys, I'll be back. Alright, so I did a little bit of cleanup, washed my pan, washed some other items that keep throwing into the sink. I've gone ahead and I put my tomato paste in a little Ziploc bag so it can go in the fridge. And I've got my meats. I've got my ground beef here that I want to use some of this for my spaghetti con carne. And then I've got my chicken breast and thigh here for my poblano chicken casserole and my, what is the other thing that I'm making? Oh, enchiladas, chicken enchiladas. And then I've got my chili meat for my hot dogs. Perfect. Okay, back to my serrano peppers. It's been more than 15 minutes, almost 30 actually. And I am going to now just do this because that starts to remove some of the skin. Now this can get pretty messy. That's why I'm doing it in the bag here. You can take them out and peel it off with either your hands, use a little knife. Back of a spoon works really well, or not necessarily the back of a spoon, but a spoon. I don't know why I said back of a spoon. But anyway, this works really good if you do it like this, especially if you let them sweat for a good amount of time. Okay, let's pop these open. They're not going to sweat anymore, so I'll just tear it open. And you could also take a napkin. And I am removing as much as I can with the plastic bag here. scraping it off. You could also use a napkin to do that. And whatever doesn't come off easily, just grab a little knife or a spoon, scrape it off. And it's all working pretty good. It doesn't have to completely come off. Some of it I could just do it with my nail here. All right. Like I said, if you don't want to go through this step, it just seems like too much, put some bell peppers in there. I'm sure it'll taste yummy, a little chicken casserole. Okay. Now, I'll do the other one, and then I'm going to pop them open. Here, let me do this one now that I'm here. I'm just going to tear it open like that. The same plastic here. Look at all that skin, just came right off. This is what I said, it gets messy. You get your hands pretty full of stuff. Use a knife or a little spoon, and you won't get so much on your hands. Okay, so then we're just gonna pop it open, and I'm gonna use the napkin as well, or the spoon or knife, to wipe out those seeds. And then what I'll do is I'll just rinse this off. I got a little mesh stopper in my sink to capture all this stuff. So I'm gonna rinse this off, and then I'll do the same with you. I've got my nice clean poblano peppers, and I have 2 of them here. That's because I'm making a small amount. If you're gonna obviously make this is gonna be enough for 3, maybe 4 people. But if you've got big eaters in your family, you might want to double up the recipe, or if you're gonna make for more than that, or maybe you just want to have some leftovers. If you're alone, just make the simple way that I'm doing it in small amounts, and then you know, refrigerate or freeze the rest of it, and or you know, separate it into smaller containers when you first start it, or in a little bag, however you want to store it and freeze it, and then just pull out what you need. And everything's already going to be cooked. Everything's put together, so I mean, you can even microwave it. So if you want to make sure your little containers are microwave safe, you can do that. And while I'm at it, I'm cleaning my board for, I don't know, like 4 or 5 times already. But thankfully I don't have to wash it like I did when I was doing the meat, because this is just a vegetable. It's not contaminating anything. Okay, throw it into my Hobby Lobby bag here. This is my trash can. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and wash this because I touched the inside of the bag and I've been throwing stuff in there. Okay, so then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start prepping a ton of other stuff. I want to go ahead and get these tomatillos cooking in some boiling water. So I'm just going to peel this husk on the outside of them and then just pull that off. Now, if you don't want to go the route of having to do this whole process with the tomatillos, you can find yourself a salsa verde that's already made, or a mole verde, a green mole sauce. Just get yourself something that'll say that it's mild. Unless you like spicy, then go for it. But I wouldn't. I would just go mild if you don't want to do that. Now, if you don't want to also have the flavor of tomatillos, you can use Roma tomatoes and do a red chicken poblano casserole, or red chicken and bell pepper casserole. You can switch this around. It's not going to hurt anyone. It's just an idea of what you can do. If you want to skip that altogether, use some Alfredo sauce. Make it your own. Okay, I'm going to peel all of these, and because they end up, oh yeah, I'm going to peel off all the husk. But once I remove that, they are sticky, kind of sticky. So what I'm going to do, I said I was going to rinse them off really well and get all that stickiness off. I've got a little pan. I don't think it's going to be big enough. I'm going to grab that big pan that I was cooking all the meat in, put some water, get that to boiling, and I'm going to drop these and in the boiling water. And they're going to change from this beautiful bright green to kind of like a kind of not so good coloring of like a, I'm trying to say with the word avocado. Once an avocado starts turning a little bit, you know, it loses its vibrancy. That's the color that we want. That's when we know that these are good. And don't leave them in there for too long. It doesn't take very long, 3 minutes or so. You don't want them popping in your water because, you know, you got all that tomato on the insides of, It's a berry, okay? So this little berry is going to be all over your water, and then you've kind of lost it. Now, I'm going to make all of these, and I've got how many here? I bought, I think, a couple of pounds. It's a pound and a half, I think. Maybe it's 2 pounds. I just bought a whole bunch of these little tomatillos. And I bought some of that a green mole sauce, just in case I didn't get enough. I didn't want to buy more because I thought, I think I have enough, but just in case, I'll get that mole sauce. Anyway, I've got that. I'm gonna rinse it off, and I'll be back. You know, I cleaned my stove earlier before getting started because I had made breakfast and such. So I cleaned my stove, and now it's a mess again. So I cleaned it up just to get it really messy. All right. I was thinking about something because I just remembered. I was talking about, you know, I hand wash all my dishes, and I don't know what it is, but it's about us hand washers that some people don't like. I always get, you know, somebody make a comment, you know, the people that I know in life. What? Why don't you have a dishwasher? I had a few years back, I had some ladies come to my house, and we were going to prepare a brunch for a, I don't want to say too much detail because then I'll give it away in case she's watching. Anyway, we're preparing some foods. Well, she'll know. She doesn't watch me. Anyway, we were preparing some foods, and she goes, "Oh, I'll help with the dishes," because she came late. So the rest of us were all doing all kinds of stuff, prepping this, prepping that, and whatever. And so, okay, I told her that would be great. You could help us out to get that, you know. So she's goes over to the sink, and then she's like looking around, and I noticed her, and I was like, "What's?" She's like, "Where's your dishwasher?" And I go, "Dishwasher? You're looking at her. I'm the dishwasher." And she's like, "Oh no." And she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I know I volunteered to help." And she goes, "But if you don't have a dishwasher, I can't do this." And I'm like, "That's fine. Just leave the dishes there. I'll take care of it myself." And then somebody else chimed in and said, "Oh, I'll help you." But then someone else chimed in saying, "Why don't you have a dishwasher? You're just a dishwasher. Why are you doing it by hand?" And I'm like, "It doesn't bother me to do it by hand." You know, we had a whole conversation about it, and it didn't matter how much I tried to defend myself and how I do things and how I'm fine doing it that way. I didn't grow up with a dishwasher. We grew up washing dishes in our house by hand. Never had to. I never rented a place or anything that had a dishwasher. I always just had my own and had a sink. I never thought about putting a dishwasher in my kitchen because that's not something that I was used to or that I even desired or thought that I would want. I mean, where would I put one right now if I was just suddenly decide that I want one? Nah, I'm fine. There was the argument was that, "Oh, but the dishwasher, you know, the water gets super hot and cleans your dishes." And I'm like, "Yeah, but you're still cleaning them." And I'm like, "It's not going to scrape everything." And that's where they said, you know, "Oh, well, that's why you clean them before you put them in there." And I'm like, "Well, why are you washing before you wash them?" "Oh, the super hot water kills all the bacteria." And I'm like, "What bacteria? It's food. Nothing is a bacteria unless you've let it sit there, you know, overnight or a couple of days or a week or a month. I don't know how long are you leaving your dishes to form bacteria. But if you're going to be cleaning stuff right after you use it, then there's none of that. And if you're concerned about that, what you could do is, you know, fill up your sink with water, your soapy water, or a little bowl on the side, and add a couple of drops of some bleach in there. That'll help. You know, I sometimes do that because I had, you know, white coffee cups, and they get that little bit of a staining from the coffee. So every so often, a couple of drops of bleach and some soapy water, and it comes right off. Okay, I have chopped up my poblano peppers. I was gonna, you know, slice them julienne, but I decided, oh, I'll just chop them up. They're easy to chew on, especially for my mom. You know, I want to make things easy for her to be able to eat it. So I like to make everything into small pieces. Okay, so water is now hot. I'm gonna put these tomatillos in there. Remember, they're gonna go from this beautiful green to a dull green, what I called an old color. and don't let them pop. So just a few minutes in there is good enough. And I'm gonna chop up some onions, and I'm gonna chop up 2 onions for now. I'm gonna chop up 1.5 onion, and the other piece I'm gonna knead it, just throw in the blender. And I don't remember exactly which of my recipes needs that. Oh, because I was gonna do the salsa verde. I wanted it enough to be for 2 different things for the what did I need it for? Oh, the enchiladas verdes, and then I needed some for the chicken poblano. But I decided that for my enchiladas verdes, I'm actually going to use that mole. So it's actually going to be a green mole enchilada. Is what it's actually going to turn out to be. So anyway, I'll see how much that renders, and if I can use some of that in the enchiladas if I have to. Okay, so I'm just, like I said, I'm going to chop up 1.5 onions. Kind of a fine chop. I don't do a too chunky, and I don't go super fine either. Now for the beef fajitas, if you're just doing that, you're not doing meal prep. I'm chopping it all up because it's easier that way instead of remembering, oh, this way for this dish and this way for that dish. If you're gonna do for your beef fajitas or chicken fajitas, whichever you do, you can do sliced julienne onion pieces instead of chopped up, if you want to do that, because I think that's what I'm going to do with the bell peppers. I don't know, we'll see. Okay, I'll be back once this is all chopped up. I've got a red and a yellow bell pepper. This is only going to be used for the fajitas, so I think I'm going to do half and half, and then just save the rest of it in the fridge. I don't need it for any of the other things. No, that's it. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and pull these tomatillos out from the water here. I've actually already turned it off. You saw how brightly green they were. So this is the green now. It's like a brownish green. Let me put that in here like that. And I've chopped up 1.5 onions. This is going to be our dinner, but it's already getting close to 4 o'clock, and I need my mom to go ahead and eat, because she always eats a little bit earlier. I didn't give her snacks. I need to go ahead and give her that meal, and then I'm going to give her a dessert, so she'll be nice and full for the rest of the night. She'll be okay. But my husband and I can wait. So I'm going to go ahead and, since I have that chili meat, I'm going to go ahead and make her a hot dog. I don't know, did I say that? Oh, yeah, okay. And I'm going to put a little piece of onion like this in here as well. Also, I'm going to use the same minced garlic. Yeah, I don't know, a couple of teaspoons there. Not quite a tablespoon. I think it's 3 teaspoons to make a tablespoon. Okay, and then I'm going to use a little bit of the water from here and some salt. About a 1/4 cup in the blender. Can you even see the blender? Yeah, okay. Right there, and salt. I'll just grab some of this salt. Some shaking. Get some plain table salt here. Maybe a couple of teaspoons. Let's go ahead and blend that. We want that nice sauce like that, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and prep a hot dog for my mom, and then I am gonna come back and I'm gonna chop up half and half. Like I said, of this, I need to chop up some cilantro, just up, I think each of my recipes. Let's see, the beef fajita, I don't have to chop it up now. I can, whenever I make those tacos, you know, pull out the corn tortillas, heat them up, fill them up with those beef fajitas. I can chop up a little bit of cilantro if it's still good on that night. Sprinkle some in there if I want, and I can sprinkle some fresh chopped onions in there as well. But I am going to saute these onions, and they will go in there into the meat, and then that'll get put away, and then I can pull it out when I'm going to make those tacos. Okay, So cilantro I needed for my chicken poblano, I needed for my enchiladas verdes, and a little bit for my spaghetti con carne. Let me make sure that I put it on my spaghetti con carne. I do. I have 2 tablespoons of chopped cilantro. So basically 2 tablespoons I think is pretty much what I put for each one of those. So I'll go ahead and just chop up one of these, and the other one I'll leave it in a little bag you put in the fridge. I'll be back when all that's done. So yeah, let me go do that for my mom. Okay, so this is how the hot dog will be served. I heated up the hot dog in the microwave, and then I put the chili meat on top, and then some cheddar cheese. Melted that in the microwave again, just about 30 seconds, and then I'm topping it with some chopped onions. Simple, top it however you want. If you want to put relish on it, go for it, or jalapenos, that would be delicious. And then serve yourself some potato salad, potato chips, whatever you want on the side. Yummy. Okay, so I missed an ingredient that I wanted to put in my salsa, but it's not too late because it can still be done. I've got here a 15 ounce of sour cream. This is Mexican sour cream. You can use whatever sour cream you want. You could use a yogurt, a plain yogurt, or you could use a crema fresca for this. So you're going to pour that into your salsa verde. That's what's going to make it render. And I've got another container of this. I got a different brand this time, guys. I got another container. And if I need to put a little bit more, I will. But for now, do that, which is almost 2 cups. Okay, so it's blended really good. It's almost 2 cups, like I was saying. So I think that will make enough for the poblano casserole and the enchiladas verdes. Now, for the enchiladas verdes, I'm going to roll up my tortillas with my meat and the cheese that I'm going to use for that, and put them in a little pan. But the sauce for it, I'm going to put it in another little container, a little baggie or something, freeze it together side by side. Maybe I'll wrap some saran wrap around the whole thing to have both items together. I don't want to put it in there because I don't want to get my tortillas all super soggy, even though they're going to be in the freezer. I don't want to do that. Also for the chili meat for my hot dogs, I'm just going to put that in a little freezer lock bag and freeze it like that. So when I need it, I'll just pull it out, defrost it, and heat it up. So here's what I'm going to put them in, the amounts that I'm making. I bought these foil pans. These are 8 by 8 inch foil pans. I didn't get the ones with the lid. They have that plastic lid, but I was found that plastic lid doesn't fit on very well. So what I did is I got some heavy duty aluminum foil. So I'm going to put a lid of foil, get it on there really nice, and then I'm going to wrap them with plastic wrap. Also a nice, this is a microwave safe, BPA free. Well, it's cool because I want to stick it in the microwave, but I'm using a foil pan, so I can't do that. So these are going to go in the oven. For me, the oven is the thing for me. Okay, so that's what I'm going to use, an 8 by 8 for my amounts. And of course, the fajitas, they will also, I'm also just going to have the meat with bell peppers and onions. And maybe I don't need that big of a container to put it in. Maybe I can just put it in a Ziploc bag. I have freezer bags. I even have the gallon size ones too, so I can use those instead. And the spaghetti with the meat, do the same thing. Maybe put the spaghetti in a Ziploc bag and put it on top of the meat and wrap it all up together. That way when I want to serve it, I can either choose to mix it all up if I want to do that, or just realize that's on. Okay, I just turned it off. Get it to the side. Or, like I said, I can mix it all up together and freeze it together, or in separate ways. It depends, because some people like to see their spaghetti and then they like to see the meat on top. So it just depends on how you want to do it. I'm going to do it separate, because then I'm going to chop up some of the spaghetti, because that's for my mom. And then for ours, I like to leave it whole. I like the long strands. But that's what I'm going to do. So hopefully, in case I don't have time to show you all that, because like I said, I do have to be ready at 6, which is in 2 hours. My husband and I have, well, actually before that, gotta be ready to go run an errand. And I don't know when I get back if I'm gonna be able to finish the video, but that's what I'm gonna, that way that I'm gonna store things. But just to let you know, that's the way it is. Okay, I need to start sauteing these onions and then the bell peppers with some of the onions. And I think I have enough there to put for both of my enchiladas. Oh, I do need some for my spaghetti. I think I'm gonna chop up this extra little piece. So that was almost 2 chopped up onions. I had an extra one just in case. Let's chop this up. And in that pan that I had going, it's already nice and hot. I just gotta put some oil in it. So I'm gonna use some olive oil. You can use vegetable oil, whatever you want. What are y'all planning for your Easter? I am planning to make a carrot cake. I haven't got to get all the ingredients, but that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make those funeral potatoes, and my sister-in-law's gonna make some sides too. She's gonna make like an asparagus, and I forgot what else, and some other dessert that she's also gonna make. And then I'm gonna make a roast chicken stuffed with a ground beef. It's ground beef, you make it with raisins and little diced potatoes. So if I have some of that meat left over, that'll be great. But I still got another pound in my freezer to use for that. Okay, so, and that is super delicious. That's what I was saying. If y'all want to see how I make that, you can let me know in the comments so I can do that again in the future. Won't be too soon because it's one of those meals that you make just for special occasions, and you know, we kind of want to enjoy it. So if you have too much of it, it's like it takes away it being special. But yeah, I could do it in a month or two from now, something like that, maybe around Mother's Day, Father's Day. Okay, I am going to go ahead and take these onions and pour them into the pan. Let me make sure the heat's not too high. Oh, I turned it off, thank God. Okay, I'm going to put it at a very low heat. Another spoon. Now, I'm going to season this because everything I put together is going to have a little bit of seasoning. Salt, pepper, and garlic powder. You want to put cumin in there some more, go ahead. I think I put enough cumin in the meat, so that's good. Not too much salt. I think I'm actually going to add some of this minced garlic. Let's see. About a tablespoon. And these weren't big onions, they're like medium. If you're wondering how much I chopped. But of course, for each individual recipe, unless you're going to be doing prepping and you're going to do all these amounts, but I have it on here. For example, for the spaghetti con carne, half a chopped onion. That's a lot of onion, but I like it. That smells so good once the garlic hits that. Oh. Okay, so in a separate little pan, I'm going to go ahead and saute the bell peppers, because if I was going to use all of that with bell peppers, I would throw it in now in there and get it all cooking together. But I want some of those onions separate, so I can't put that in there. So I'm going to do a separate little pan, and I'll just add a little bit of oil to it. It's not even a tablespoon. I'm going to put some stuff away and I'll be back. Okay, so in hindsight, I would want to chop up half of an onion more. So I've grabbed a good scoop like that and put it in my chicken here. So I'm just going to mix that around. I think that's pretty good. Let me add a little bit more. That's good. And then a big scoop here with my bell peppers. And for my spaghetti, you know what? I think I'm just gonna make extra for my spaghetti, or I'll just leave it out and then I'll just maybe add some fresh chopped onions on top. So half went into my 2 chicken meals, and half went into for my fajitas. So I guess 1 onion per, or half an onion, 1 onion, I guess. Something like that. Small, medium onions. And I'm gonna chop up a little bit extra. Oops. I'm gonna go ahead and saute right now. I also need to get a pot of boiling water because I need to make my egg noodles, and my egg noodles is going to be for my chicken poblano, which I'm going to have for dinner tonight. It might turn out that we end up eating out, and then I can have the meal tomorrow. And then I'm going to do my spaghetti, but if I don't have time, I will save the spaghetti for cooking it tomorrow, but I'll just tell you real quick how I'm going to put that all together. Okay, so let's see here. We are at our beef fajitas. Let me mix this up here. I'm going to go back to my beef fajitas because I need to take them out of the Instapot so they can start cooling off, so I can chop them up and build just that meat to be used for tacos on another night. Or maybe tonight. Okay. I've got an hour of cooking time, you guys. I've been trying to clean up as I go so that I don't have that much to do. I mean, I could come back after. I had this whole day planned for today. I didn't do anything last week. And I said, okay, I need to make up for that. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to do a meal prep on Monday. And I had all this all planned. If I don't know that today was going to be the way it was, I should have done that yesterday. I'm going to use Sunday for that because all I did yesterday was pretty much relax the whole day. I did go buy some of the groceries, but I could have done that on Saturday. But I thought about getting everything ahead of time. I just said I hadn't finalized on what exactly I was going to cook. Okay, so let me go ahead and put this in the same pan. And saute it a little bit. And I'm going to put that in the ground beef. Just let it do its business. Okay, so let me get a pan to get some water. I did put my chili meat in a little baggie. I need to go get a Sharpie from my craft room. And I'm going to actually just write on the outside of everything what it is. So that when it's in the freezer, I'll know, okay, that's some chili meat, that item. It's going to be covered with foil, so I'm not going to see what's inside. So I need to write on the outside. You get a piece of masking tape, or if you can write on the foil, just write on the foil. Got my water here. Get this going. What am I looking for? I was going to add some fresh chopped onions to my spaghetti, but I said, you know what, I need to saute these. I didn't even put any oil. There was a little bit of oil still residue in the pan. Okay? Okay, so for my beef fajita tacos, let me get a pan. I'm going to go ahead and wash some of these, get them ready, and I'll be back. Okay, water is boiling. It's almost ready to add I'm going to use egg noodles. That's going to be for the chicken poblano casserole. If you don't want to use noodles, you could use tortilla chips. Either fry them up yourself or buy some already made. Okay, and I added some salt, I don't know if I mentioned that, into the water. Okay, here's my fajitas. I did a small piece, so I have very little here. It's not a big amount, which is okay because I'm going to make, I have some smaller corn tortillas. We'll make street tacos. Well, we can put them in a flour tortilla. If you want to add some rice and beans in there, make it like a burrito or a big taco. So these are so tender, they're just falling apart. I'm barely even touching it. It is so hot too. But this is why I like them in the Instant Pot, because they become so tender, easy to chew, long. And then, if you're gonna give this to little kids, and I can guarantee you, you'll like it too. Taking off the little bit of that skin or whatever that is on the meat. It's easier to remove it now that it's cooked. Just peel it right off, especially since it's so tender. Okay, and this is going to go in a Ziploc bag, and I've got my Ziploc bag ready here. I don't even need that big of a bag. I could use a smaller one, but I'll go ahead and use this one because I'm running out of those small ones, and I use those a lot. I was about to grab it with my hands. Okay, throw that in. And then we're gonna throw in the onions and bell peppers and some, let's see, let me clean my hands here so I can check my recipe here. My beef enchilada. Okay. Oh, I had put on here Roma tomatoes. I didn't add any tomatoes. That's fine. We can add some fresh chopped tomatoes to this, or pico de gallo if you want to do that, which is a salsa. Okay, but if you wanted to add the tomatoes, you would add the tomatoes. Once your bell peppers and onions are getting almost ready, add some tomatoes in there, chop them up or slice, however you're going to do it. And then all that will go in here with the fajitas. You know what? Did I make too much? No? Oh, of course. Let's find a better way to do this. The camera died somewhere. I'm just finishing by putting all the bell peppers, onions in here. And then we're just gonna get all that air out. I could put it in a vacuum seal bag, right? I could do that, vacuum seal it, but we'll just do this for now. This is a freezer bag. There. Let me wipe the bag because I got somebody outside. Okay, so we're gonna let this all cool down really well before we actually put it in the freezer. Like I said, I'm just gonna mark this. I can see what it is. I don't need to mark it. Okay, clean the oil off my pan, then I can wash it. Okay, guys, I'm gonna clean up all this and come back to the next step. I'm gonna go ahead and put half a bag of egg noodles in the water. I don't want to cook them all. This is a 12 ounce, so I'm going to do 6 ounces, maybe 8 ounces of it for my casserole because it is a small dish. And I have some chicken, I got poblano peppers, and that reminds me, I got cilantro that I'm going to put in there too. But I also wanted some of the cilantro, about a couple of tablespoons in there in my fajitas. Now, if you want to add the cilantro fresh on top, then of course wait till the day that you're going to make this to get some fresh cilantro. Okay, and I'll be back once I got this in water and I've got grease stuff cleaned up. Noodles are almost done. I only want them just al dente because then I'm going to bake all this. And do I have it? I'll put the recipe, that'll have the rest of the instructions. Okay, so I put some corn tortillas, I got 8 of them in the microwave to warm them up, and I want to have this ready. So I'm going to go ahead and put some cheese, maybe a little too much in there. Got a pan ready here, and I've taken some of that creamy salsa verde that I made, and I put this in here. I think I have about 12 ounces. This might be about a 12 ounce size. I don't want things falling on me, so let's do better. I have a mess now. It was pretty on here. No, it's not. Okay, then we're going to take some of this chicken and then just roll it up. Let me get some of this cheese on the counter. Now, the enchiladas would also have some chopped cilantro on there, so we can sprinkle it fresh when we've heated it up. And then what we want to do is, I'm going to build them, but I'm going to put them in the freezer without the sauce on top of them, okay? So when I pull them out of the freezer, defrost, stick it in the oven. Well, not in the oven yet. I'm going to pour the sauce on top. Stick it in the oven. Put some more cheese if you want. And then when it's all out of the oven, then you can top it with some cilantro if you want. But I'm going to go ahead and put it all in there now. I'm gonna be so full. Look at that. That would be smart, but you know the tortillas sometimes they have these lines on them, and that's kind of like the way that I put it on here with the lines going. Like that's what for me it seems like it rolls better that way. And I like to heat up my tortillas on the griddle and not in the microwave. I like to do it that way because I feel like I get them nice and soft and pliable. They won't break on me. They're not. One of them kind of did break on me a little bit, but that's okay. It's all gonna get broken up with a fork when we eat it. Okay, so I was planning on 10 of them. I don't think 10 of them are gonna fit in this little container. I'm gonna make it fit. That's because I'm adding so much chicken. They're so fat. Anyway, let's get some more cheese on here. I'm not afraid of saying that. Don't be afraid. It's not a bad word. It's just a thing. I know I don't think it's healthy. That's my opinion. Okay, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh. I don't know if 4 are going to fit in there, but I'm going to make them. I'm going to feel my upper lip spinning. Okay, let me turn off that pasta. That reminded me. Whew, I need more cheese. I don't want to be reaching into the bag, but, well, I think I was going to use the whole bag anyway. Okay, so I have mozzarella cheese. I have Oaxaca cheese. You could use one or the other. Both are delicious. Use whatever melty cheese you like. You can use some queso fresco in your enchiladas. Why not? But I would still want to top them with like something melty. Okay. These are about to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I only need 2 more. I've got 3 here. Okay. Because I need 4, 4, and then 2. But I've been eating 3, not 4 lately. And my husband kind of the same, so that one just went on there just all broken up. That's okay. I am rushing things too much. Okay, so then we're gonna get that one in there, and I don't need that extra one. I need cheese on here. Put it on there. This one's coming apart. Let me roll it back up and put it over here. This is why I don't like putting them in the microwave. If I put them on the grill to warm or in a pan, they don't do that. Okay, what was I gonna do? What did I do with the cheese, you guys? The bag fell. Okay, it fell and this is what was on the floor. But the rest of this is fine. So I'm just gonna pour the rest of this bag. Oh, this is an 8-ounce, 8-ounce bag of shredded cheese. That enchilada, okay. Put that in there. So if you're making it for tonight, you pour your sauce on it, whole sauce in there, top it with some cheese, put it in the oven for, I think I put 20 minutes or 350 Fahrenheit for 15 minutes. Like I said, the instructions will all be in the recipes on how to finalize all this. And I'm just gonna top a little bit of cilantro. Okay, so then what I wanna do is wrap this up, and I'm trying to hurry up because I want to get that pasta. I'll just explain the spaghetti because we don't have time, you guys. I have a lot of chicken. See, this is what I meant. Like, you're gonna have lots of chicken left over. So, I mean, I was gonna do 3 thighs. I was like, okay, I'll just do 2. Then I decided to do 3. If I had done just the 2, it would have been fine. I wouldn't have had so much chicken. But hey, all that extra chicken cooked is another meal. So I mean, it can freeze. You put it in the oven. Sorry, in the freezer. Just date it and know that, within the month, use it up, and you will, because you'll eat this dinner and then here comes another. Or you never know. You might get extra people come over to your house. Or some of it could be for your lunch, salad, I mean, Okay, I want to take that piece off because it had... Sometimes it's better to do it this way. So that's how I'm going to wrap them, right? Okay, I'm going to wrap it all the way. Like that. And then if I want, I could come and then wrap it this other way. Why not, right? Let's do that. And then I'll wrap my sauce. Really, that little sauce could have just gone into another freezer Ziploc bag. But I put in that little container. So that's where it's gonna go. And it's gonna get eaten this week, so I don't even really need to freeze the sauce. That'll be okay in the fridge. The rest of it I am freezing it because just in case, you know, things happen and you don't always get to eat everything you make. I'm gonna try. Okay, so this is gonna go in the fridge, it's gonna go in the freezer for me. I am gonna write on here enchiladas. Just so I remember what that is. Okay, now let me get another container. The ones that I washed. Okay, I'm gonna not dump out this water because I want to use it for the spaghetti. Where's my other? You love the noise? Okay. These stayed in the hot water too long. They might be a little overcooked. Let me check them. Oh, perfect. And salty so I can taste the yumminess. Okay, so I'm going to do the spaghetti the same way. But I'm going to, did I make instructions for the spaghetti con carne? Yeah, butter and oil. So for the spaghetti, once you've got it out, you know, drain it, cool it off with some water if you need to do that, so it doesn't stick and all that. But I mean, if you're doing it right away, you don't really have to do that. So you're gonna make the spaghetti, and then you're gonna put butter in there. Make it nice and buttery, a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper if you need to. Just a little. Well, actually, your water will have salt, so you don't really need to add extra salt because your noodle will taste. You'll taste the salt on it. Like I can taste it on my egg noodles here. And this water is nicely salted, so I'm not going to add any more salt. I'm just going to put my spaghetti in there. Okay, so like I said, you're going to do that. You're going to butter it up. You're going to put it in a little pan or a little baggie, and then put your meat in another little baggie. Put it in your pan. That way, when you're ready to do it, you can just pour out the spaghetti, pour the meat on top, put it in the oven, heat it up, or mix it all up, and then put it in the oven and heat it all up. And I've got instructions on here. Well, actually, I don't have instructions for the oven. I'm doing the oven for me because since I'm doing meal prepping. But if you are, just a 350-degree oven, and probably about 20-30 minutes, just want to make sure that it gets hot again, because you're not needing to cook anything. So it might not even take that long. Maybe 15 minutes. Okay. I won't, there's some noodles in there floating around. I'm not going to bother with them because I'm trying to rush through this. Okay, now to this, we are going to add, let me get to my chicken poblano because I don't want to forget anything. Okay, so then we're gonna mix everything. Poblano peppers. Yummy, yummy. You could do this with lasagna noodles if you wanted to do that also, and just do layers. Okay, so then I'm going to add some of this chicken in there. And I can put lots of it because, you know, I had lots of it left over. But I think I'll leave a little bit for Sunday salad or something. I could shred it up a little bit more, make a salad out of it. What did I say? Sunday sandwich or Sunday salad? I could make a chicken salad. Okay. That in there. Get some Oaxaca cheese or mozzarella cheese. I feel like the Oaxaca cheese is just going to take forever for me to do. Let's see. I had put mozzarella on my chicken poblano casserole, but you can use Oaxaca or poblano. Oaxaca or mozzarella. There's a fly in here, you guys. I opened the door a little bit ago to let the dogs out because it's already 4:48, but it was like 4:30-ish, and I needed to let them out. I gotta do their business. And I just realized one of my dogs was in my bedroom this whole time, so I don't remember when it was the last in my bedroom. And I could hear her barking, and I'm like, well, where is she? She was in my bedroom. I had closed the bedroom door. I hope she didn't make a mess in there because she'll start, when she gets anxious, she'll start destroying things. And I don't know when in the world she got locked up in there. Okay, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna add the salsa verde. We don't want to forget that. That's the yumminess, and we probably want to do this before we add the cheese to it. Okay, here we go. All right. This smells so good. Okay, I don't want to over pour because I might end up pouring out of the pan. So I'm just gonna push it in like that. This, I want to have it tonight because I just know it's going to be delicious. So I'm hoping that my husband and I won't be so like, oh, I don't want to wait till we put something in the oven. Let's just get something already made. Because I'm already hungry, but I've been popping little pieces of chicken. Okay, so I told you how to make spaghetti. Oh, the spaghetti, the spaghetti is with the meat, the ground beef, not the chicken, you guys. Let me see if I have time to. Yeah, let's go ahead and put the spaghetti on there in the pan. Oops, I was going to turn on the oven. Oh, let me wait for the water to boil. Okay, this is going well here. Let's read my spaghetti. Spaghetti con carne. So in a pan, ground, chop in the bell peppers, season and saute well, everything's done. Add tomatoes, blah, 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 blah. And then we're going to cook it till it's all tender, okay? We are going to boil the spaghetti, add butter and salt if desired to taste. Place the spaghetti topped with the meat, cheese, and sprinkle cilantro on top. That's what I said. It's going to be in here, the instructions, but you saw me make the meat for it. Boiling spaghetti, do you need to know? And like I said, I'm going to package the spaghetti separately and the meat separately. I need to pay attention to my timer. Camera keeps going off on me. This is going to be a long video, huh? Okay, I'm going to pour more of the sauce, and I'm going to save this in another little container. Maybe I'll grab from that container and put it in and get a bigger one. Okay. When I get to serving this, I can actually top it with more cheese if I want then. I already put cilantro, so what is this cilantro for? Oh, this is for my spaghetti, which I'm not going to get to do because I need to close off my video. Okay, we're going to wrap this up just the way that I did the enchiladas, but we're going to have this tonight, so I'm not going to put the plastic wrap on it. I am just going to put foil like that. Put it aside here for later tonight. I can add more cheese later if I want, or mozzarella cheese, whatever. Now we're going to cook the spaghetti, and I'll be back when it's cooked. This is clean, and then I'll package it, and that'll be it. All right, I cooked the spaghetti, rinsed it out a bit. Now I'm just going to go ahead and pour it in my little pan here. There's some egg noodles in there. No big deal. This is what happens, I guess, when you're food prepping. There's some ingredients from one thing that'll go into the other. Okay, so my spaghetti was done, but I got some bits that are sticking here. I didn't rinse it off well enough in cool water. Okay, so now I'm going to add some olive oil. Just drizzle some in there. And I've already had them salted. So the water was salted, and that gives it plenty of flavor to the noodles. So I don't need to add any more of that. I am going to add black pepper. I have a little fan going. You might hear the AC also. I would have waited for it to turn off, but I need to finish. My husband's on his way home. Okay, garlic powder, just to give it some extra flavor. At this point, you can do whatever you want to your spaghetti. Oh, and some butter. And I didn't get a little knife. Let me grab one. And I'm just going to cut it up in little pieces like that. I feel like when I bake it, it'll, melt in there. This is the way my grandmother used to just make spaghetti when we were growing up, and then she would just make it tomato sauce, like actual tomatoes. Like I did the tomatillos, but red Roma tomatoes or whatever tomatoes you have. And boil them a little bit, and then, or on the griddle, like I did the poblano peppers, just don't burn them, or a little pan, and then put them in the blender, salt, pepper, garlic, and then pour it into your spaghetti. That was our Tex-Mex, spaghetti sauce rather than an Italian one. But anyway, this is super easy. Look at that. They taste delicious. Okay, what I'm gonna do here, where's my foil? I'll put it behind me. I just remembered. I'm gonna cut a little piece. Put it over the spaghetti. I thought I put it in a bag, but I'm gonna waste another bag, and I already had this pan where I was gonna mix everything up. I'm gonna take my carne, my little ground beef. If you wanna do this with chicken, do it with chicken. Do it with salmon, whatever. Delicious with fish. Okay, and then we're just gonna cover it again and then wrap it with the saran wrap, the plastic wrap, because I didn't buy that brand. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it after, once I get back, because I don't want to confuse this one for the enchilada. Well, the enchilada one has the sauce on top of it. So here we go. Spaghetti con carne, spaghetti with beef or chicken. Chicken enchiladas verdes, a cremosa, a salsa cremosa or a creamy sauce, salsa verde. We've got some beef fajitas for some tacos, so I just need to heat up some corn tortillas or a flour tortilla, maybe a chalupa, put some beans in it, rice, whatever you want. There we go. I have some leftover chicken. I can make a salad with that. Then I've got my chili meat, so I can make some hot dogs with chili. We're gonna make some chili cheese hot dogs. And last but not least, my chicken poblano. I cannot wait to eat this, you guys, and I'm so hungry, but like I said, we're gonna go on a little appointment. I don't know how long it's gonna take. We might end up just saying, let's just pick up something and eat it, and I'll save this for tomorrow. But when I get home, I will wrap everything, I will mark it. This is my poblano. I'm gonna put my spoon on top of it, so I remember. And then this is my spaghetti. It's lumpy, so I think I can remember that. All right, everyone, that is it for today. Thank you so much for sticking around, and if you watched the whole video, thank you, especially thank you for sitting through the whole thing and listening to me ramble on and talk on and create some dishes here so that you can get some ideas if you didn't already have them. But maybe you already make all of this stuff, so if you want to give us your little pointers or what you would do different, let us know in the comments below. So I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up, and I hope that you too will give me a big old thumbs up. If you're enjoying the content of my videos, if it's your first time here, you haven't subscribed, please subscribe by hitting that red button and then choose all notifications so that you get notified as soon as I upload a video. I want to thank everyone for watching. Thank you once again for sitting through the whole thing. If you didn't, that's fine. I'll have the recipes down below. If you don't see them there, leave it in the comments. Everybody say, you didn't put the recipes, Trisha, you didn't put them in the description box, so then I can do that. All right, everyone, thank you again, and as always, enjoy.